Let's bring in Tyler Booker and sort of get the State of the Union from Tuscaloosa. Tyler's presented by CraneWorks, the big guy who says rent from the big dog. Tyler, the first thing I want to ask you, man, is how you doing? How you doing with all this change and everything? Personally, you're sort of family up here to us. How are you doing?
Man, I'm great. You know what I mean? I'm just very excited for the future. Of course, we're going to miss Coach Saban, but it's a new era now. And me personally, I've been through so many changes in my football career thus far. This is just another day at the office. You know what I mean? I have 4 different head coaches in high school, so that's 4 different cultures I had to adapt to. So I'm just excited to adapt to a new culture now and maintain the one that we have.
Yeah, these weeks all run together. I mean, I know it's been more insane for you guys, but obviously a lot of stuff going on with us covering this. But when did you first find out that Nick Saban was retiring, and then when was the first time you heard the name Kalen DeBoer?
So we found out Coach Saban was retiring. I think the national championship was a Monday. We found out the following, so that Wednesday. So 2 days after the national championship is when we found out. We found out when everybody else found out. You know what I mean? We found out right before everybody else found out. He wanted to make sure that we were the first to know and make sure that we didn't find out on social media. But so he told us, and the coaches found out 5 minutes before us. So that's something that really he really had to decide on, and it was a tough decision for him to make. But he made the best decision for him, and he's had one of the most successful careers in the sports world. So he really deserves it. But I first heard the name Kalen DeBoer probably about, I think it was 3 days after that Friday. So that Friday is when I heard Kalen DeBoer. I think when the hire was made officially. So everything happened really fast.
What's the impression of not only Kalen DeBoer, but the guys he's brought with him and the new folks who have shown up in town? Because if you had no ties to Alabama or anything, you watched what Washington did this year, and you had to be impressed with their offense. So tell me about the meeting. What do you think of him and the coaching staff? And I guess a little positive news maybe for the Alabama fans out there.
Yeah, I like Coach DeBoer a lot. And the first thing that he said that stuck with me was that he had 3 non-negotiables. And the first thing that he mentioned was family and togetherness, like playing for one another. And that's something that kind of turned the tide for us, no pun intended, since I've been here. So I see it as since I've been here, and the new era for us started when I think the alum weren't too happy with us having green mouthpieces, and this was Bryson Wills last year, and they weren't too happy about that, and that kind of rubbed us the wrong way. And so we all came together and we decided that we were all going to wear green mouthpieces. So I feel like that kind of togetherness kicked off the success that we had this year, and it's going to roll into this coming year. You know what I mean? So this past offseason, we had a lot more team events, and that allowed us to really bond and really develop relationships with one another. So instead of that being like, oh, that's just one of the linebackers, no, that's one of my best friends on the team.
So in today's NIL, there's tampering. And we said this earlier. We were talking about your teammate right there, part of your unit, Caden Proctor, goes to Iowa, and he said, they hit me up. and look, Dunaway and I both said if we were coaches, whether an assistant or a head coach, we would keep in touch with guys that we recruited just because of how active the portal is. You don't have to give us any names, but do you get hit up on a regular basis by other coaching staffs?
No, I was hit up. The only other time I was hit up by coaching staff, a few coaching staffs reached out to me last year before going into my sophomore season. So that year, and only one coaching staff hit me up since Coach Saban retired. But everybody really knows not to hit me up because they know my stance on Alabama, and they pretty much know how I feel about this program. And then if you ask anybody here about me, they're gonna know that I'm really big on loyalty. I'm really big on family, you know what I mean? And I'm big on family, and I'm big on legacy. And what I've accomplished so far, what we've accomplished so far, of course we got to go out and win a national championship, but I wouldn't trade what I've done so far for the world. So,
I get asked all the time. People are like, I'm so worried about all these people that are leaving. Should I be worried? And I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of talent walking out. But then again, there's a lot of talent walking out every year. What about the guys who are still there? So for the fan that's still struggling with this, tell them how they should feel about so many people leaving and how you guys who are still there are handling this on a day in and day out basis?
It's really a next man up mentality. You know what I mean? You come to Alabama to really get developed and really take advantage of the opportunity that's being presented to you. So there's a lot of opportunity on the table right now, and we have guys capable of stepping up and stepping into those spots and taking advantage of their opportunity. So that's one. We have the talent in-house, but obviously the portal works both ways. Once it opens up in the spring, we'll be able to add more additions if need be. But I feel like we have everything in-house that we need in order to go on another national championship run. So everything's going to work out, and just stay excited for the season, because we definitely are.
I mean, were you surprised, borderline shocked that some of your teammates, I mean, when you look at the portal rankings, 4 of the top 10 guys were Alabama guys, and 3 of those guys were proven guys that you played with this year. Was there any shock or surprise these guys left?
There was a little bit. There was a little bit of shock and surprise that some guys leave, but of course we wish them the best. We wish them nothing but success, but it's on to the next. You know what I mean? They didn't want to be here, but they think they have better opportunities elsewhere, and that's a day and age we're in when it comes to college football. So take advantage of the opportunity presented. Of course, we wanted you here, but you got to do what's best for you, and we'll do what's best for us.
Our man Tyler Booker, presented by CraneWorks, the big guy, says rent from the big dog. CraneWorks all the time. Check them out online for all your renting needs to all the big jobs you have. For the guys who've decided to stay, and the ones that have been outspoken like you, nobody's been more outspoken than you, but some have joined, like Malachi and Jalen and Deontay and others. What's that like when you see someone else walk back into the room and say, I'm not going anywhere, man. I'm with you, Tyler. I'm with you, Jalen. I'm riding with you guys.
Yeah, that was a conversation that we had. Like we all had a conversation, and we looked at where we were this past year, and we really broke it down. Like, guys, we are 7 points away from being where we need to be, and we have the guy, in the coaching staff that got where we wanted to be. You know what I mean? And so we're so close, and that's just what I'm preaching to everybody, and that's what we really told each other, and that's why it was so easy for me to say, like, look, guys, we're 7 points away, and we're only going to get better. Like, we're a young team, and we're still going to continue to develop. And this offense that we're going to inherit from Coach DeBoer is something very different from the SEC, the typical SEC offense. So I'm excited to go out and take the field with him and do some new things out there. But yeah, we're 7 points away. To have those guys behind me and to have all of us have the same mindset and me behind them, it's really encouraging to know that we all have the same mindset. When you have that togetherness, that one track mind, it's really hard for people to knock you off.
Yeah, I don't know if this has been laid out yet, but do you know what the offseason is going to look like? How different it will be from Nick Saban's offseason to Kalen DeBoer's offseason?
Not necessarily. So we did keep the same strength and conditioning staff. So from that aspect, everything will be the same more than likely. Of course, things are going to change just because Coach DeBoer, he's the guy now. He's going to want to bring some things in that he thinks made him successful at Washington. But the thing that I really like about Coach DeBoer, he was like, okay, what made y'all successful? And like, what do we need to keep? Like, what is a tradition piece? What is a culture piece that we need to keep? You know what I mean? Because we want to keep things similar, but we also want to add some changes as well. But Coach DeBoer has been really receptive to the feedback we've given him about certain things that are in place here that need to stay in place.
Before you go, you don't have to give me details, but have you seen a full playbook? Have you been able to start taking a look and studying, and terminology will be different, everything will be different? I assume you've got to learn a new offense, right?
Yeah, definitely. I haven't seen a playbook yet, but I have gone back and watched some of their bigger games. So I watched both of the Oregon games, and those are really entertaining. And I like how they run the offense, and they do a great job of mixing things up, and they're not predictable at all. So I'm excited to go out and take the field, and we have SEC speed now. They have SEC speed now, so I'm very excited to see what they do with it.
Yeah, that's Tyler Booker, man. I know a lot of Alabama fans are in our chat right now, thanking you for being outspoken and hanging around. So from all of them in the chat room, they say a big thank you. Tyler, enjoy your day, enjoy the classes, and the very much your hometown weather we've been having here lately. We're ready for it to get hot again.
God.
I don't know about you.
Yeah, I feel very at home right now.
Tyler, thank you, man. That's Tyler Booker, presented by CraneWorks, the big guy who says rent from the big dog. And Tyler Booker, a big dog with Bama fans right now.